If you want to know how to clean your house when tired, then stay right here.
Hey there, I'm Anna, mama to 6, living with a chronic illness which has forced me to create simple solutions for everyday tasks, and I want to share them with you and other mamas because just like you, I am just making it work. If this sounds like a space you would like to be a part of, hit that subscribe button and let's stay connected.
Why is it so hard to keep a house clean when you're tired and dragging? Can I tell you, I so get it. There's always a reason for the fatigue, and whether it's life circumstances or maybe a health issue, this means that our focus shifts. It shifts to taking care of ourselves, and keeping a home clean is just not priority. You know what I'm talking about? And for me, generally, when I feel fatigued, it's my body's way of saying that I need to rest and to heal. Whether or not the house is up to my standards, I have to allow for that rest and that healing, which means I have to do some tweaking to my usual routine because I just don't have the stamina to keep up on things like I would like to. If you are nodding your head and you can relate and need some encouragement and motivation in managing a home, be sure and click the subscribe button, and that way you can receive the latest videos when they come out. I share all about it right here on this channel. When we are in a season of fatigue and exhaustion, it's like everything takes effort and energy, of which I really don't have much of. And there's a lot of time that I actually wake up completely wiped out. Like my body is weak and fatigued and I haven't even gotten out of bed. And that's really not a good start to the day. This reality kind of begins a cycle of just getting through the day. Because there is minimal energy available, things slide. And the needed energy to carry out necessary tasks to keep the house clean is just not there. So dishes pile up, clothing is layered on a dresser or even the floor, and things just pile up. This in turn brings on guilt and frustration, as we know we should be picking up as we go and staying on top of the tasks. Knowing that the needed work to tackle the aftermath of chores not being done consistently is going to take so much energy and time, and the list of to-dos keep piling on. The weight of not only the work ahead, but also the feelings of guilt and failure can also cause just a sense of overwhelm, and that leads to kind of a cycle of neglect on the tasks. Plus, that visual clutter doesn't exactly inspire one to get to work. It's almost unmotivating, which is overwhelming, which probably means I am not planning on jumping on it anytime soon. So on top of the reality of the state of our home, navigating fatigue is also pretty brutal in and of itself. And all of it seems a bit daunting to push through because when enough time passes, things can really pile up and we are just behind. What I recommend if you are living with fatigue and having trouble cleaning your house are these 3 principles that I want to share with you today that I apply in these seasons of fatigue. Before we even begin, please don't focus on getting it all done quite yet. It's pretty unrealistic to actually pull off a whole house clean anyway. Pretty sure that would lead to feelings of failure because it ain't happening. Oh, and lower your standards just a little bit. We are going to get things to a manageable state just till this season of fatigue has passed. I like to pick a room or a specific task that is creating the most noise and tackle that first. Now, when I say tackle, this is more like a slow motion kind of move where I give myself plenty of time to complete it. When my energy levels are super low, it just takes me longer to complete a task and usually more challenging because I also have a little bit of brain fog, if anybody can relate, and that just comes with it. Let's take my bedroom, for example. That may be an entire weekend project. Not that it really takes an entire weekend to accomplish, but by being sensitive to my stamina and available energy, that is going to give myself plenty of time to check it off of the list. By just taking on that one project, I am more likely to actually carry out with the plan of cleaning our bedroom versus scheduling in maybe 3 projects. You know, there's always things to get done, but it's really unrealistic to be able to get it all done. And if I'm not careful and schedule too much, I'm going to get in over my head and I'm definitely going to lose steam. Does that make sense? I got to take breaks in the middle of the projects because I lose that steam pretty quickly. But I will say, once I do get up and moving and get going on a task, initially getting over that hump of actually starting, I get motivated and that burst of adrenaline kicks in, which really helps. By giving myself the entire weekend and allowing myself to take breaks, I also like to break down the tasks in the room. I see the room as multiple projects, which may be like make the bed, clear shoes, pick up the clothes and put them on the bed to be folded or hung, clear the dresser, pick up the trash, fold and put away clothes, hang up the clothes. You get the point. I will challenge myself to just do one task or maybe two, then I take a break. Oftentimes when each task is broken down as individual projects on their own, they are very, very doable. So over the course of a weekend, I can usually chip away at those smaller tasks. And by the end of the weekend, the entire seemingly overwhelming task is done. Again, just starting is the biggest hurdle, often a mental hurdle. I will just try to break things down into individual tasks, taking one or two on at a time. And that takes less energy than trying to knock it all out in a unrealistic time frame. Then I purpose to pick up as I go, creating better habits of putting items away rather than setting them on the dresser or tossing them onto the floor. My goal with that is kind of breaking the cycle and trying not to get myself in that mess again. This one is really, really hard for me. Like, I really don't like this one. You know, when you can't do things that you were once capable of, it really takes some humbling to admit that and to accept it. Although I am addressing the reason for my fatigue and I am working with a healthcare provider to heal, I really have a ways to go. So until there is complete healing, I have to think really strategically until I get there. Maybe you have a little one that has you exhausted and tired, or it could be a crisis that you are navigating, or like me, your health creates that fatigue. Whatever you are walking through, I hear ya. So much so that I have hired a mother's helper for this season. She comes once a week for 4 hours, and she is in charge of our 2 little boys that are quite lively. So I can knock out projects, whether it is cleaning or organizing or decluttering. Just like we talked about creating a designated time on the weekend to get going on some cleaning, I have specific tasks that are designated for the day that my mother's helper comes. This does 2 things. It creates a space to accomplish the task, and it also gives me relief knowing that it is going to get done, even if I have to lower my standards, like we talked about, by putting tasks on the back burner and waiting for the upcoming day to address the project. I really do get it, guys. So instead of sinking deeper and deeper into the overwhelming state of things, I have actively chosen to look at things from a little bit different angle, getting creative with how to clean our home while still living out the realities of fatigue. And sometimes we just need help, even just letting someone in on the struggle. Oftentimes, others are more than willing to lend a hand. Again, very, very humbling, but sometimes we just need a little help to get over that hump. This last principle is very, very valuable. I've done a specific video on this, which is linked below, but I am going to touch on it here as well. In our home, we are instilling the value of each family member contributing to the household, equipping and teaching our children to be capable and mindful of the needs around them. And that's going to set them up to be excellent citizens, spouses, friends, and parents. In our home, each family member has designated daily chores that help make our home function. There are so many moving parts to make a home function well, and when everyone joins in and does their specific part, the whole thing just works better. So please hear me when I share how to keep a house clean when tired and fatigued. I am not taking the entire house on alone. We are all doing our part. And this has taken intentionality and teaching on our part, yet the benefits for our children and our home have provided us with a system that really, really works, which means I am not left alone with all the weight of doing all the cleaning myself. This is not about me getting out of doing my responsibilities at all. I still have my own, hence the master bedroom disaster. This is all about the reality of the function of the home running smoothly, all while preparing our children for the very likely reality that they will be living independently and running households of their own someday. I kind of just feel responsible for equipping them. This also takes the pressure and the weight off of me to do everything. And we all work together and it just works. If you have little ones, I would keep this in mind as your littles get older. That video I refer to is specifically on how to teach your kids to do chores. Just something to be thinking on. Now, if you're older or an empty nester and don't have any children, consider bringing in reinforcements like we chatted about. Hire someone to help you out or just ask a friend or family member to work alongside you. Humbling, yes, but maybe necessary to get things manageable. Choose that trouble spot, breaking it down into doable tasks, and fight back fatigue with smarts. Here's that video I mentioned. Chat with you down in the comments or over there on Instagram. Bye.